Welcome to another episode of Mom Knows Ball. I am Jordan King, and the namesake, as I always say, Melinda King. How we doing, Mom?
Hey Jordan, good to see you. Let me see what we got going on today. We're showing the Emmys.
Showing the Emmys. I tried to elevate my background a little bit.
I see.
Yeah, and I also feel like after last week's episode, I really went in hard on the Jags. Like I didn't double down, I quadrupled down on, being really pessimistic Jaguar fan. So I needed to show my Jag pride. I still ride or die for this team.
Okay.
Monday Night Football, kind of like that we're on the road, a little less pressure. We're not going to talk about the last Monday night game that we were on, that I was at, where we lost to Jake Browning.
Okay, we are not talking about that.
But no, we're saying we're positive. I'm optimistic.
Okay.
For tomorrow night,
national
stage. I like the fact also it's a doubleheader game. So we're going to be there's two games going on. So I like that. It's like we're in the spotlight, but we're not like the main spotlight. So I'm excited about that. We got nothing to lose. Kitchen sink game. Let's go. So, yeah.
So
what do you got on? I see this little baseball jersey, AKA representing.
So it's funny. It is really a coincidence. So we're doing an HBCU segment today. And so maybe an hour before the recording, I was at an HBCU fundraiser that was sponsored by my sorority, Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. And so I just decided to keep the fit going. It seemed really appropriate. It really was a coincidence. So yeah, I see you got Trevor.
It's a strong fit. We got Trevor. We got our AKA jersey. Got some Emmys.
We are representing.
And we got that football right there. That signed by our boy Jalen Hurts. Who had a big, I'll let you go through the rundown.
Okay, let's go through the rundown because we got,
what we're talking about today. We got a lot. There's a lot of football. We're excited.
We're excited. So our rundown is, we're gonna do our mindless yapping about football and other things. We always do that, and so it's a segment now. We talked about how we're gonna have an HBCU segment, and talk about a very specific a game that was played yesterday, but also just the HBCU experience. And then, of course, our infamous good, bad,
yes.
We like talking about.
Well, I do before we get into everything.
Okay.
There's an elephant in the room that needs to be addressed, which is how we're being paid as podcasters. As I've said in the past, we are not accepting any sponsorship offers. However, we are being paid, myself and our lovely producer, Tamara Varner, in DoorDash gift cards. So I don't know how to feel about it. Like, yes, I love a good DoorDash, like the next kid, but at the same time, I'd like to think we were a little bit more liquid than that.
Well,
and it's I don't want to call it child labor, but it's giving child labor, and I don't know,
child labor.
I'm just saying,
like a 31-year-old and a 39-year-old.
You're throwing out ages, and that's hateful stuff. I don't know. I feel like this is episode number 7 now. We're in a groove. Once contract negotiations come, it could get ugly. That's
super. Here's the thing that's super funny for our listeners. When I sent them both of them their DoorDash gift card to thank them for their labor of love, they were both so excited and they were so appreciative. And so it's kind of
like the more we thought about it, it said, and we're like, once you give them out like a cookie, then it's like, oh, what's next? It's like we stepped our game up. It was nice, but again, we're not complaining. It's just something that I'm flagging. I'm just flagging it for now. You're
flagging it. It actually sounds like you're complaining, but
no, not a complaint is coming out of this mouth. Not one complaint.
Soon as we get that giant sponsorship that I'm working on, then I will make sure that you are paid in a currency that is not a DoorDash gift card. So
I thought you were about to say something else. I'm glad you didn't go there with what we talked about.
I don't even want to know. Yeah.
No, I mean, no, this is, you said it. Okay. All
Okay.
right. So let's get into our mindless yapping. Ooh,
Okay.
And it was a great weekend of football. I got to say, I got my girlfriend to watch football, who she is not a college football person at all. So she was locked in. Shout out Aiden. And yeah, I mean, it was a great weekend of ball. I got to say.
That USC game against Michigan was a close game. You all know how I'm a big SEC person, and that Mizzou Vandy game, Mizzou, which is a top 10 team, they had to go into overtime to beat Vandy. You know, Nick Saban made a comment around, like, Vandy is the only stadium in the SEC that it's not difficult to win in. And I think he was really just trying to say something about how hard it was to win in the SEC. But I guess Vandy's like, okay.
What we call a backhanded compliment. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. We're going to show you how easy it is to win, because we got Vandy. I think Alabama has Vandy the week after we play Georgia, which is the big game coming up. I'll be in town. You know, I'll be, talking to all the players, talking to the coaches, giving them some tips around, how to win the game.
And I'm sure they're going to take every bit of that advice. I mean, they come to you for motivation, for the X's and O's. I mean, basically you're a catch-all. So
yeah, I mean, I was the one who said, look, Nick, we got to start getting a passing quarterback. Okay. No more game managers, no more run the ball. And he was like,
wow.
you think so?
Shout out Mark Ingram.
Because that's how we do it. He calls me M, I call him N. So,
And this definitely all happened. He knows exactly who she is. And so this wasn't a dream. This is real life. So this is like my dream of getting all my portal offers, definitely is a thing that happened.
Yeah,
definitely a thing that happened.
Yeah, we're going to have to do a disclaimer on the fact that Jordan did not, in fact, get any portal offers. Although, I mean, hold on, our friend Jason said he wanted to come on the podcast to defend his position on entering the podcast. So we're gonna have to bring Jason on one day to talk about why he, as a grown man, is entering.
Again, I'm inspiring the next generation of transfer portals.
And,
you're never too old. You're never too old, folks. Just saying, you're never too old.
I mean, I'm sitting here right now. The Cowboys have come back against the Ravens.
Have they?
It's 24-28 now. 24-28 now. And yeah. So with 2 minutes and 53 seconds left. And so Jordan, we talked about the Jags, they can't go 0-3. If the Ravens win, they will be 0-3. Lose, they'll be 0-3. And a lot of people project them to win the division. So this is
and it's like their offense, you put up 28 points and it looks like Lamar, again, I don't want to, let's wait for the final result.
But we're happy about that.
In this 49ers game right now is tied with 4 seconds to go.
Wow.
And it looks like it's going to overtime. I mean,
wow, look at us.
No, the Rams are on, they're going to kick the field goal to win it. The Rams are on the San Francisco 19. You're getting a peek behind the curtain here.
We're in real time.
We're in the middle of the action. This is great podcasting, so everyone should know.
I could not turn this game off. I was like, I can't turn this game off, but I don't
think mom got the joke. It's actually terrible podcasting because no one can see what we're saying, and it's not going to really in the moment it seems cool. Anyway, we are watching the live result while also podcasting. Yeah, she's upset now. I heard her feeling. All right, 37 yards. I just need to see this. Can the Rams upset the 49ers? The 0-2 Rams, the 1-1 49ers to win the game.
Okay,
this is my broadcast voice.
We're not going to watch. We're not going to talk about this through the entire.
I'm not. I just want to see if they do it. They did it. Okay, we got an upset.
Okay,
great day of football.
We love it.
I would be remiss. Let's relax, Mom. We got excited. Let's relax. Let's do a little deep breaths. Husa. Anyway, I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about the Colorado game before we get all into NFL. I mean,
wow.
I have conflicting thoughts on Dion and his whole thing he does at Colorado. I think sometimes it's a little too much, but what you can't say is that Shadeur Sanders cannot play quarterback. Like, that boy was on one, and that was him and Travis Hunter. And, you know, I'm glad they were able to win a game that way. And again, it's Baylor. I get it. Let's hold our horses before we claim them the next powerhouse and, you know, the conference. But I want to, you know, that was a fun game along with that Vandy and Mizzou game to watch.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is the time of the year. Again, it's starting to get a hint. There's a crunch in the air. I mean, I'm in LA, but like there's this crunch. You know, like I feel like leaves are falling. It's a little cooler out. I run hot, and peek behind the curtain. I'm a big sweater. I have a fan on right now, and it's like 70 degrees. And so I really have no reason to. So I like it a little cooler. And so I love this time of the year. This is sweater weather, and I'm excited.
Sweater weather. That's a Saturday Night Live skit. Sweater weather.
From what, the 40s? Well,
okay, here
what? It's been 11 minutes and we've basically said nothing, which is kind of just like the antithesis. What's the word, Mom?
I never know these words you're trying to say.
But like, they're words that I know. I've heard them be spoken before.
Okay.
And I never know exactly, like, this is the synthesis of our podcast.
Okay.
I think that's, yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
All right.
Mindless yapping took on a life of its own.
Okay. All right. So our HBCU segment. So let's talk a little bit about HBCUs. The reason that like they have such a special place in my heart. My mom went to an HBCU, Alabama State. My sister went to Alabama State. My brother-in-law went to Alabama State. And I would go to the Turkey Day Classic, which is the football game between Alabama State and Tuskegee that's played on Thanksgiving Day in Montgomery, Alabama. And I just loved, I mean, sometimes the weather was not as cold as it should have been on Thanksgiving, but the women all had on fur coats. And that's when I developed my affinity for the marching band and the dancing girls, the Stingettes. Like, I decided I am going to go to Alabama State. I am going to become a Stingette. I am going to leverage my dancing skills to be a dancer for Prince. And that was my whole career path that I had laid out for myself.
And I like that career. I like that career path.
I know, right?
Mom, as the kids say, I love that for you. I do.
I know, right?
Yeah, it would have been great. Coulda, shoulda, woulda.
Yeah, just a little small flaw in the plan. You know, I don't really know.
Can't really dance.
I don't really know how to
like, I mean, it's just a little wrinkle that Mom is not. Yeah, I don't think anyone in our family are great dancers. We move and we talk and we can do stuff with our hands. Okay, now we've already done too much. I don't need to see all that at your tender age. So the HBCU games. There's the game. There's halftime. There's after the game. But there was one game that we did. That we know there was a game that we found extra exciting.
Yes.
It was the Southern University versus Prairie View A&M. Went into OT. Again, another great day of college football. Like I said. Southern ended up winning 34-24, 31-24. Shout out Van Lathan.
Where did he go? He went to Southern?
He went to Southern. Baton Rouge, baby. The BR, as the kids call it. I don't know
if they call it the BR?
I don't know. I'm just making stuff up now.
Okay.
But obviously, regardless of the outcome of the game, the fifth quarter, everyone knows, halftime is showtime. Fifth quarter is like OT, but it's like where both fans go out and just get after it. So yeah, we definitely need to shout out some HBCU love. In a way, me bringing up Colorado, Dion, he's coming from an HBCU.
Yeah.
Head coach and shit. I love how mom gave me like a look like, where
Well,
are you
because I
going with
thought-
this? Where are you going with this? Nah. And then I was like, no, like, yeah, exactly. Now you feel, yes. So he's coming. And I don't remember the HBCU he coached at, but I remember
was it Jackson?
Jackson State.
Yeah, Jackson State.
So
It was Jackson State.
shout out Jackson State.
Yeah.
But yeah, let me cook for a second, Mom. Let me talk about the things that I know. So
And again, we talked about it. We mentioned this last time, but Tamara, our producer, went to an HBCU, Alabama A&M. So yeah, so we're gonna be showing some HBCU love, throughout the podcast. So we're at 7 episodes, which is super cool because they say the research that I've done on podcasts, because I'm such an expert now.
I don't even want to know. She just Googled how to podcast.
It says
for 50-plus-year-olds.
And so once you get 10 podcasts under your belt, you're really considered legit, and you just start to build on that. So I'm super excited. This has become a thing.
Yeah, no, I will say I've enjoyed. I think we're in a good rhythm, especially now that football season has started. I have a lot of thoughts after watching all these games, and I can only talk to myself or the people around me for so long. I got to get it out somewhere. So yeah, I enjoy it, and Mom and her hair and makeup, and I've even partaken.
Get the ponytail,
No, it's a good look. I give you your props. So we don't gotta dwell on it. You look good. There we go. That's it. All right.
So it's time for the good, the bad, the and. Okay, so
So this, Mom, can we work on this for a second? The good, the bad, and then why don't you lay out and I say the because you can't really say it.
Okay.
You don't do it. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, let's do it.
The good, the bad,
and the see there. I don't. Okay. Where guys by episode 10 we'll figure this out. We'll figure out the timing. Okay, Mom, you start off. What's your good?
My good is that when you start the season, you're so excited in August for football to start. And then the season starts and your teams are playing and you're trying to balance watching your teams and watching all these other games. And it can be a little overwhelming in the beginning. You want it so bad. You're so happy football is back. But then you're like, what game do I watch? What game do I watch? Or am I going to watch media on my teams? So the fact that Alabama was off this week and the Jags don't play until Monday night, I just got to channel surf and watch whatever game I wanted to watch, and I didn't have to worry about an analysis about how my team was doing. So that was good. It's been a good football weekend for me.
It is refreshing not having your teams play, at least on the standard days. It allows you to just sit back and your day isn't centered around one game. It's just kind of around all the action. So no, I'm with you there. My good, as I kind of touched on it, Shadeur Sanders, but in particular, this Shadeur Sanders post-game sound that I just loved.
When people say, what's your plan B? No, it's only football. That's the only plan there is. I don't have a trust fund. Dad ain't set me up good like that. But I'll make sure I set up my kids, with a trust fund and everything.
So basically, as you guys just saw, I love him saying, I don't have a trust fund. Dad ain't set me up good like that. I mean, that's what my mom said to me. He was talking about how there's no backup plan. There's no plan B for being, for not being an NFL quarterback. And so, that's the mindset I had with being a quarterback. There was no plan B for me. And so I'm still striving. Again, that's why I'm in the transfer portal. I am going to say I feel like he definitely does have a trust fund. It's a great quote, though. I love that he said it. I don't have a trust fund either, which is fine. No one's upset about it. But I knew my plan A was to be working in sports.
Okay.
And here I am working in sports. Maybe not the quarterback thing,
right,
but you get the gist. It was just a quote that really stuck out to me. Okay. I don't got a trust fund, and that's all right. Put it on put it on a t-shirt, print the t-shirts. Mom ain't set me up good like that. And that's all right. She set me up good in other ways. But, you know.
And most folks
Shout
don't
out-
have a trust fund.
No,
for
shout out the non-trust fund kids. Shout them out,
Yeah.
you know.
which is the
Not
majority
in
of
in
the
this
people.
economy, I could never. In this economy, I could never. So
Which is the
yeah.
majority of most people walking around.
No, it's all
not
right.
have
Hey.
a trust fund. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
All right, Jordan has really evolved into doing prep work because he used to just show
it's-
up.
Let's not hatch our eggs before. Let's
Hatch
let's
our
not cook our
eggs.
eggs. All right, you know what? Whatever. All right, go to your bad.
Okay, so the bad. Look, I am going to ride with Bryce Young until the end of time. They benched him last week. I already said that I thought he could use a reset. I am like Panthers. Let's go. Come on. Let's let Bryce. I don't want to hear. I see that face. I know that the Panthers did very well today, but listen.
Yeah, you're
let me finish. There's no pressure on Andy Dalton. There was all the pressure on Bryce Young, and I am just not. I don't care if they scored 150 points. The Carolina Panthers did not properly do what they needed to do with Bryce Young, and I'm holding them responsible. And so I know that people are sending them offers, and I don't know whatever Bryce wants. So I said I want him to go somewhere else. If Bryce wants to stay in Carolina, that's fine. But I need the Panthers to do something around him. So yeah, my bad is y'all better treat Bryce Young right, or I'm coming after you.
She's not messing around either. She is. That's angry mom voice. It's funny. As you talked about me doing prep work, my bad was the Andy Dalton situation and what the offense did. I'm talking about the other side, okay? It just doesn't help Bryce's case. And again, this is my bad, is what Andy Dalton putting up 300 plus yards, 3 touchdowns. And I get what you're saying, that there's no pressure, but the offense, and they beat that Raiders team is a great defense. And they did it on the road, and I get it. And we'll see how it plays out, because I feel like there's always that bump when you first get a new quarterback, and we'll see how we, levels out. Like this isn't Andy Dalton. Like we know Andy Dalton is not going to put up 300 plus yards and 3 touchdowns every game. But I think it definitely is a head scratcher. The whole, how this offense is night and day, the rushing attack, what's opened up. And so it's a bad. Yeah, it's not great for my boy Bryce. I think his time in Carolina, respectfully, is over. I don't see it really. I don't know. I feel like he needs a fresh start. I am glad he's not in the fire. I think it was the right decision. And I love that video of him signing the kid's autograph, or that guy's autograph. I think we all saw that. It was a great moment. But you can just tell his body language. He looks defeated.
But I do love all these quarterbacks coming out and supporting him and saying, look, man, it's not over. I've got benched. I went from one to, I love that community of quarterbacks that are supporting Bryce Young.
I'm gonna add to that community. Because I was the starting quarterback on my intramural team in college. I got benched. I threw 4 interceptions one game. And, it's like that made me a better quarterback. I had to really look at myself in the mirror and said, like, what are you doing every day? Like, how are you prepping? And I came back that next game, and I only threw 2 interceptions. So, again, I get it, Bryce. Like, it's from quarterback to quarterback. I got you, fam.
Okay.
So,
yeah. That's our good, our bad, and our, what is it? Because you say I say it wrong.
It's what's your Mom? What's your
Man, is the fact that last week Georgia beat Kentucky by only 1 point. Close game. They trailed the majority of the game. So it's an for me, because, you look at it and you go, well, what does that mean? Is Georgia overrated? Is Kentucky underrated? And you're kind of having that moment, and then it's like, But is that going to give Georgia the fuel to come into this game next week, put on like a Superman cape, and just play like a superhero against Alabama because they came so close to losing? So for me, like that game is I don't know how I feel about that. I think I would have rather for them to like blown Kentucky out and them come into T-Town thinking, we're the team to beat, and we're Georgia and you're not. But I think that game it's giving them something else to think about. So I don't know that, but it could be they're just not as good as everybody thinks they are. So anyway, I will be there. So
she will be there, and RIP to our group chat, because my mom is going to, for better or worse, be going off about whatever. We'll get minute-to-minute updates on her at the game. I ran into a classmate that I saw back in the 1950s, and he remembered me from this party and that party. So it's, I'm happy that you're going. It'll be a great game.
Yeah, we need to work on the math thing with you to understand.
Mom,
like, if I was in college in the 50s, how old
I don't know when. Look, I'm not a mathematician. Clearly, but yeah, I'm taking in the ballpark range. My is gonna be this renaissance of rushing in the NFL. I mean, it's been we got 6 players who are right now on pace for 2,000 plus scrimmage yards. And it's this renaissance of rushing attack. It reminds me of like when I first started watching football, when it was like defense, run heavy. And I'm feeling like it's nostalgic, but it's also like I kind of miss the passing. It's good to see these boys run, but I like I'm human. I like to see long touchdown passes, And so we're on pace for, I think this is the most rushing yards through 2 or 3 weeks since like 2006. And so, it is an interesting time in the NFL. I don't know if that's the defense are getting better. There's this whole thing about the 2 high safeties that those who know ball know what I'm talking about. But it's been an interesting time in the NFL with just, you don't see quarterbacks slinging it for 300 plus yards, which is also what makes the whole Andy Dalton thing
I knew you were coming back to that.
I don't know.
It is interesting that we kind of go through these cycles. It's a passing game. It's a running game. There was a time where like they weren't drafting running backs in the first and second round, but now they're and
it's still kind of. It's interesting. Yeah. I don't even think it's been we've been going through ebbs and flows. I think it's just been like pass, wide receivers being taken, top 5, running backs not going till the second round.
Yeah.
And so, it's cool to see. It's like guys like Derrick Henry.
I know.
And like Saquon Barkley. They're both going off. And it's like, I like to see it. And again, this is a weird, but I also like to see passing. It's an
New Orleans running back?
Alvin Kamara. Yeah. I mean, again,
he is killing it.
It's like, oh, we used to be like a running back by committee league. And it's like, no, it's still valuable to have a top 5 running back. Like, let that be known. It is still valuable to have. And so, but I also like to pass. As a former quarterback myself, I like to see passing. So, yeah. I will say we're on a great streak of no fights between Mom and Jordan.
Ooh.
Yeah, we've gone like 2 weeks now with no. Yeah, look at us. I don't want to say like it's so much growth, but we're both maturing, and you maturing at your age it's truly impossible.
Yeah,
so
you need to watch it. Okay,
I'm not
you need
even
to watch it.
So
and
I'm still a spry in my 20s, and so I'm still learning and growing, and
Oh, you making me thirsty. Get my water bottle.
You got to drink more water. That's what, shout out Aiden again. She's been telling me you got to drink more water. I think it's better for your skin. So, I've been trying to hydrate.
yes, I'm glad. Thank you for keeping Jordan hydrated. And
my mom gets very upset when I do a thing that someone else told me to do that she's been telling me to do for my whole life. I just know, like, and I'm not gonna, but it's like sometimes you got to hear from multiple sources, okay?
And so am constantly I'm like, you got to drink water. I don't even know how often I say it, but anyway, I'm glad you're drinking water. So
thanks, Mom.
It looks like we're about to wrap it up.
Yeah.
In a couple of weeks, we're gonna have a player and their mom.
Don't say too much. Okay. That's all we're gonna say. So, maybe it's our 10th episode. Maybe it's that elusive number 10. So we shall see. More to come on Mom Knows Ball. We love having you guys. Love the feedback. Keep listening. Subscribe. YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. You know the deal. And that wraps it up for another episode of Mom Knows Ball. I'm Jordan King. That's Mom. And
I know ball. I know a little
ball.
No,
just a smidge.
Just a smidge. All right. Thank you.